So I'm not going to go through that big, annoying long tunnel because I forgot that's the wrong way to go. So I'm going to go down in this tunnel instead. I hope you don't mind. Energy refill? Energy refill.
How could you tell?
You want to see? I'll go back and show you.
Sure.
The only reason this room exists is to have an energy refill without actually just putting a box there to...
Okay.
Oh, look at all these dudes who keep respawning and giving you stuff that you don't need. And are easily killed.
That guy looks pretty upset with something.
It's because no one will ever love him. Or her. I don't know. This is the fun room. This is the earthquake room. Oh no! Eh. Ow, dickhead.
Wow.
Can't believe I made it.
My eyeballs are hurting.
Are they?
Not really, but it's the type of thing that if I was like sitting in front of a TV screen and old CRT at home.
Yeah, definitely. Way too close to it.
Yeah. That's all I can imagine those little spiky piston things are doing.
Alright, let's see if I can do at least the lie jump over here. Is it this one? I think it's this one. God bless you.
Mexico says hi.
Oh, yeah, I asked Twitter a little while ago, what should we eat for dinner? And AJ replied, and only AJ replied, that we should eat Tex-Mex, and it was delicious.
Yep.
I am full of regrets because I'm so full of delicious food.
Yeah.
Overly full.
I'm full of Mexico.
So this, you're supposed to have the grappling hook over there, but you don't need. Oh fuck!
What
you
did
don't
you
need.
do?
I accidentally fell because I'm not using a Super Nintendo controller. You don't fucking need to do it. No. Just like most of the enemies that pop up, I'm like not gonna bother, waste my time. Ow. Ba 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 wave
beam.
So I honestly don't know why the wave beam is important. Is this the one that makes it go through walls? It might be. Okay, this wasn't where I thought the thing was. No, I don't mean to go back. I needed a running jump. Alright, here we go.
Whee! Boink.
No, missed it. Missed it. Here it is. So next time we do a... yeah, this is the one that makes it go through walls. This one is important.
Okay.
Next time we do Nintendo recordings, I'll bring the Super Nintendo.
Sweet.
So you can play Mega Man X.
Okay.
How many of those games have you beaten? All of them?
Almost. I've beaten like 75% of them.
The later X games are really hard.
Yeah.
Like everything past X2, excuse me, Tex-Mex, is really hard.
Well, I threw a lot of, you know, blood, sweat, tears, and frustration and anger and everything you can imagine.
Thumb calluses.
Beating those games, so they're really committed.
They're still fun.
Yeah. Had a lot more patience back then, too.
Well, a lot more free time as well. Like, if I can't beat a game in, like, a month, because I only have maybe an hour a day,
Yeah.
and I'm too exhausted to play every day.
You know, it's funny you mention that because I've been playing...
Watch how fast I go now. Not to interrupt.
I've gotten back into Path of Exile on the PC.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, you showed me before. It looked really pretty.
Yeah. It's a great game, like, don't get me wrong, but the frustrating thing in it is it's much like Diablo 2 in the sense that as you're leveling and you get to a certain point in the game, if you die while leveling, you lose 10% of the total experience it takes you to get to the next level from
Holy
your
crap.
current experience bar. You don't lose an actual level, you just lose the experience between levels.
Right.
But, you know, when you get to the end game, you may get like,
I'll try this again.
I don't know, like 3-4 experience per map, which is like per dungeon in this case.
Oh, I want it so bad.
Which takes not too long if you have a pretty high damage character with good clear speed, but it's still, it'll take like an hour or two just to get halfway through a level if you're doing it at a moderate speed. And you can easily lose that progress in like a matter of minutes.
Minutes?
Yeah. Just through like subsequent deaths from stupid crap that either, you know, sometimes it's avoidable, but sometimes it's just not.
Right.
Like sometimes you just get caught in a corner.
And you play very carefully. I play extremely recklessly. So I imagine that's way more frustrating for somebody like you than it is for me.
Yeah, I also prefer ranged characters over melee characters just because
That's true,
I like
too.
to be able to see any projectiles that are coming at me and be able to avoid them completely, as opposed to like taking the risk of, you know, being completely impaled.
Here we go!
So...
But you've been enjoying the...
Oh yeah, it's Path of Exile is rare in the sense that it's one of those games that it's free to play, so it's worth trying if you haven't tried it.
Yeah, you're not losing any money.
You know, shameless plug here, even though it's not our game and we have no affiliation with them, Grinding Gear Games whatsoever. But
Fucking...
it you know, it's definitely worth trying out if you're not, whether you are or aren't into the action RPG genre, you know, to begin with. But considering that and considering how much work and effort and, you know, care they put into the game,
It's for
really,
a free game. It's really polished.
yeah. And it's one of the few games that includes microtransactions as like a business model that I don't mind, because the microtransactions are most, like 99% cosmetic and don't impact the game whatsoever.
So you're not going to get like the kid who just like got his parents' wallet.
Yeah. The only thing that I've found that I've actually invested in for quality of life reasons as a microtransactions not cosmetic is increasing stash size and like customizing stash tabs. So like for example, the stash management can be a kind of a pain because a lot of the stash tabs are just like generic, like, you know, grid spaces that you put stuff in that are a certain size and width.
Yeah.
But
of course they're going to make the stash like one of the things you can spend money on too, though.
But there's specialized tabs that help you organize things, like either categorize things or put them in a certain order of tier, of quality, of rarity, stuff like that. So it helps a lot when you're someone like me who A, hoards everything.
Yeah, you keep too much crap.
And B, likes to be very organized with the stuff that they keep.
I feel like you play a lot of these games just to be like, collected it.
Oh yeah,
collected it.
I'm a collector through and through. Like the first things that I collected in my life were baseball cards, comic books, and there was a third that I'm not remembering now.
STDs.
Matchbox cars. And to a lesser extent Legos, but Legos were more of like a toy that I played with. Like, and I've kept that mindset pretty much ever since, even though I'm a lot more mindful of it now. But like in games especially, if there are things to collect, like the Holy Grail is
have all of things.
A term for getting like all the unique items in an action role-playing game. And I've always strived to do that. I've never actually accomplished it, but it's a fun goal to go after and just like try, not only because you get to see all the cool shiny stuff that you pick up,
right,
but you get to try it out, and sometimes things will surprise you, or like you'll be able to use them in ways that you didn't even like comprehend.
I really like how Destiny 2 set that up.
Mm.
You know what I mean? Like you can like get rid of a really exotic item out of your locker.
Yeah.
And then just go to your menu and then be like, just go claim it again.
Right.
Which is like a really clever idea. So you don't like end up being like an Ives and just like all your stuff is just gone forever.
Yeah.
Even though you wanted to hold on to it. But the idea behind like you collected it once, so now it's just in your inventory forever, even though it's not in your locker or like your stash or whatever. Fuck!
Oh no!
Fuck!
Your bum is being nibbled. By the... What is that thing?
I don't know. The non-consent monster.
The Me Too monster.
Good for you.
Harvey Weinstein.
The Harvey Weinstein monster. It's the Trump.
Oh no.
Just grabbed me by the pussy. Fucking photo button right next to the switch thing button. Oh shit, I forgot about this room.
Hey guys, want to play? What was the first ARPG you ever played? Was it Diablo series or was it?
I probably. Oh fuck! I went the wrong. The room in the bottom. It's probably Diablo 2.
Okay.
I want to say. Drew tried to get me into Ultima Online.
Okay.
Which I think was subscription based at the time. We're talking like 98, 99, something like that. And I couldn't get into it. This is at a time where I had no patience for games.
Mm-hmm.
Like if it wasn't action oriented, I wanted nothing to do with it.
Like what was the very first game you ever played for anything?
Ever?
Yeah.
My neighbor had an Atari.
Okay.
So I don't even remember what the name of some of the games were because, like, of course they had like Missile Command and Pong and Pac-Man and all that other crap, but they had some like not like Space Harrier kind of game or whatever. Some kind of shmup.
I think for me it was probably...
Yeah, what was it for you?
I think it was an arcade game because my parents were holdouts when it came to any sort of handheld or console-based system, like home entertainment system, which at the time was only Sega and NES. And so, you know, I got my exposure mostly from the old 80s style arcade halls. I think it probably was either like Gauntlet or it might have been... I'm trying to think now. There were a few games that I played, like not Space Invaders or Centipede, but maybe Asteroids. Is it Asteroid? I can't remember.
Yeah, the one where you like had to protect your cities.
I think Asteroid was just you in a ship.
That's what Asteroid. I was thinking of Missile Command at first.
Okay. And then
where am I? Oh, I have to fight. All right, I know where I'm going.
So the types of games that I remember being out when I was a kid in the arcade were like, I think there was fighting. Well, actually, the fighting games came later. It was like Gradius type games, Gauntlet. Tron, I think, was out. Was it Spy Hunter? The one in the car.
Oh, I love Spy Hunter.
Yeah,
Spy Hunter was great.
And then there was a cruising game.
Cruising USA, probably.
There were a few games that didn't employ joysticks and buttons, but more rolly balls. I don't know if you remember those.
I remember a bunch of arcade games that had the rolly balls that were just strictly golf.
Okay.
I've never seen any game use the rolly ball for anything but golf.
There was one game with like a blimp that dropped bombs and you had to like destroy creatures or things that were underneath the blimp.
Really?
Yeah. I don't remember the name.
And it used a rolly ball?
Yep. It used a big white super heavy rolly ball that you had to like, you know,
just whip it as hard as you could
with your hand. Yeah.
I can't believe I went the wrong way. I'm such a dumb.
I'm trying to remember what else. Fuck. I can picture the arcade hall that I used to go to. It was in Syosset, and I can picture like where everything was. I just can't remember the names of the games that I played. I just remember requiring a shit ton of quarters, or the best thing would be, and this is something I started doing, is having birthday parties at the arcade hall.
Oh,
so
of course.
You can play unlimited games.
Yeah, you would need to. I can't believe I went the wrong fucking way.
I wasn't even paying attention.
I'm so mad at myself.
I was lost in my memories of childhood.
Your memories aren't helping me get to where I need to be, all right?
Filthy, mangy arcade halls that were probably like crack dens before they became arcade halls.
And then after they became arcade halls, became crack dens again.
Yeah. I remember the two happiest places I ever went that weren't like vacation destinations with my family were the arcade hall and the video rental store.
Yeah, same. I very rarely went to the arcade halls just for the sake of them being like this dingy, gross place that kids really shouldn't go to.
You know.
And the video rental store, which my parents also loved, because my mom and dad were, I wouldn't say they were movie buffs or anything. They just liked like having a relaxing evening at home in front of the TV.
Of course.
Not that they were couch potatoes or anything, but that was their jam, and so that became my jam too.
Yeah.
And I'm happy that it did. Where do I go to Choco Taco?